Hello! Today's video is for those of you who are budgeting for a variable income. This might be because you work shifts or maybe you're self-employed. Either way, it can be a challenge when you don't know what your pay is going to be each week, each month, or throughout the year. It takes a little bit of extra work to get it right, but you should still be able to create a budget that works for you. My name is Charlotte Jessup and this is the Looking After Your Pennies YouTube channel. I specialise in teaching people how to manage their finances. Through hints, tips, hacks and facts, I help you to manage your money more effectively. And budgeting is one of the most important components in a good money management system. But when your income varies from month to month, it can be hard to come up with a decent budget. And I've been through this transition too. I used to be a teacher, so I got a salary, I got paid the same every month. There was no overtime, there were no bonuses. I literally knew down to the penny what my pay was going to be each month. Then I moved to a self-employed business owner. Now my money can go all over the place and it's up to me to keep an eye on it. It took all of my best financial skills to keep my spending, my saving and my investing all on track. Now it's not just self-employed people that have to contend with variable income. Any employed people that work shifts or do overtime, or maybe if they're on 0-hour contracts and don't know what the hours are going to be each week, they might have variable income too, and this might be you. Even if you're on maternity pay, your maternity pay might go up and down depending on how many months you've already been off or how many Sundays there were in the previous month or some other ridiculous metric. Fortunately, there are a few simple tricks that can help you manage your money more effectively. Let me show you what they are now. Number 1, know your minimum. Keeping good records of your income is not just good for your accountant, it also helps you keep track of things too. It's impossible to know what you have available to spend if you have no idea of what money is coming in. A good strategy can be to go back over, say, a year's worth of records and have a look at roughly what the minimum amount you can get each month looks like. You could even do this more forward thinking and look at what work you know that you have coming in and being paid for in the month ahead. This could be based on any contracts you know that you have paying up in the next month, or based on your shift rota from the last few weeks, or in the days ahead. All you need to know is what that minimum amount is. It's sometimes best not to use averages for this either. For example, taking your annual income and dividing it by 12 might seem like a good idea, but this might take more resolve than you think. Particularly if you have some months that are particularly high and then some that are really low. In those months where the money's really high, are you necessarily going to be stashing that for those months where the money is lower? Instead, it might be a good idea to just work out what the lowest income is and work on that. Anything that you then make on top of that, you can then funnel into different categories. You might want to put it towards savings or maybe pay some bills annually if you can. So in those good months, you're more prepared, but the rest of the time you're coping on the minimums. Number 2 is to create a disaster budget. This is the next step once you know your minimum, and it tells you where you need your money to go. I've done a video on this topic before, and there is a whole section on this in my Budgeting Confidence course. If you want to find out more about my Budgeting Confidence course, then it is part of the Money Nook membership, and the link for that is in the description. But basically, it involves stripping your spending right back. How much would you need to cover the absolute basics of your lifestyle? This can be things like mortgage, rent, council tax, gas, electricity, telephone, food. These are the bare bones of your budget. It would involve removing all of the luxuries too. So this would be things like Netflix subscriptions and maybe like gym memberships, if you could be in a position where you could cancel these at short notice. You need to work out what the absolute minimum is that you would need to spend each month to keep a roof over your head, food on the table and the debt collectors away from your door. And this exercise is really helpful in analysing your spending habits. When you reduce your lifestyle down to this bare bones spending, you'll probably find that there's been a lot of discretionary spending going on too. It will also help you align that minimum income that you worked out in the last section with your minimum expenses. And if there is a big difference, and by that I mean your minimum income is significantly below your minimum expenses, then you might maybe need to do some work around this. If, however, your minimum income is higher than your minimum expenses, then you know that you are in a good place. You can allocate this extra income across some of your other expenses, or start thinking about saving, investing, or preparing for some other big life event that you want money for. So number 3 is to build an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a good idea for everyone. It creates freedom and a bit of breathing space. But it can be an absolute lifeline if you're on a variable income. An emergency fund is just a pot of money that is there for you to dip into for when those emergencies pop up in life. This could be there to replace a broken washing machine or to repair your car if something happens to that. But for those on a variable income, it can also be there to cover any dip in income that you might have on a month-by-month basis. If you are currently focusing on trying to pay off debt, then a good emergency fund figure is around £1,000. If you're debt-free and you're trying to build your savings, then a good figure for this would be around 6 to 9 months worth of your expenses. Now, if you are in employment and you do get a fairly steady minimum amount of income, then you might want to lower this amount. Think back to that disaster budget to work out what 1 month's worth of expenses is, and then you can multiply that by 3 to 6 to 9 months to create this ideal emergency fund figure. If you do dip into this amount in any 1 month, then it'd be a good idea to focus on boosting it back up again. Then it'll be ready for you the next time you might need to use it. Number 4 is to live off last month. So this is a great strategy if you are able to not spend the money you're making this month and put it on hold and then spend it all next month. This will then mean that you know exactly what money you have and you can then allocate it to exactly where you want it to go. You won't be playing with estimates, instead you'll know the exact figures to work with instead. One strategy I like to use for this is Starling Spaces. So Starling is a bank and they have this great feature where they have these little pots of money that you can put aside. Now other banks do this too, so Monzo have pots and there are other accounts that are offering this feature as well. And then I like to, whenever I get the money, I put it into one of those spaces and I can allocate it out according to its purpose. For example, I have a pot that's for essentials, then I have pots for things like cars, holidays, and then other just saving spaces. My aim is to fill up the essentials pot first and then trickle down the rest of the money into those other pots. When the end of the month comes, or whatever date suits you, you can then just move that money back into your main account and then it is there ready for you to spend in the following month. This includes everything from your bills to your fun money. Anything that you want to spend goes into your account and is there waiting for you. Then you live off last month's money whilst you're earning the money ready for next month. This more similarly replicates what is going on maybe for people that are employed with steady incomes. They work for the money, then they have a payday and then they spend that money after that. But the real benefit of this is that it means that you are working with those real figures. You're not trying to guess what money you might have. This makes it so much easier to budget because you know the numbers you are working with. You can allocate it out accordingly at the start of the month and then you don't need to worry about it for the rest of the month. So number 5 is to pay yourself a salary. If you are self-employed, then this might be a good idea for you. Rather than trying to budget for differing amounts each month, instead take a modest salary and then leave the rest in the business. This will help see you through the good months and the bad months. On the good months, you'll be leaving enough in there to help cover those not so good months. Every now and then when you do really well and there's loads of money in there, you will be able to take a little bit extra out for those bonus luxury things in life. It will make budgeting much easier because you will have the same income coming in each month. So you can pretty much set your budget up, tweak it each month for different things that come up, but you'll just be able to roll with the same figures each month. The downside is that you might not be using the money that you're building up in the most efficient way. For example, that money might end up sitting in a low interest account rather than, say, sitting in your stocks and shares ISA and growing. But if you keep an eye on this, then you should be able to leave enough in there to cover your salary month by month and then take out whatever you need and put it to work. So number 6 is to stay engaged. No budget is static. It's not something that you can create and then walk away from and hope that it all just works out. And this is because no 2 months are the same. Even for those people that get the same money coming in every month, the way we spend our money month by month is going to be different. You need to actively engage with your budget every month, and even more so when you're living on a variable income. Check in with your budget at the start of the month and make sure that you know what is coming up for the month ahead. Also, check in with your budget as you go through the month to make sure that things are staying on track. You might need to tweak things as you go, and that is fine. Sometimes there are those little expenses that we'd forgotten about, somebody's birthday, and you might need to move money around from one place to another place to make it work for you that month. These things happen. That is part of a healthy budget. Believing them and ignoring them is not good. So stay engaged, stay focused, keep an eye on your budget, and then it will probably work out. So there you have it, how to budget for a variable income from somebody who budgets for a variable income. There is no perfect way to do this, but hopefully some of the hints and tips in this video will help make this process a little easier for you. Don't forget, before you go, to hit that subscribe button so that you can see all of my future videos. I am posting 2 videos a week all around financial education, so there'll be something new in just a couple of days. If that's too long to wait, then you can check me out on my other social media channels. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm on Facebook too, so please do go check those out. And if you want a little more for your financial education, then please take a look at the link in the description where I talk about the Money Nook. This is my financial education membership, where you can get access to 2 of my most popular courses, which are Budgeting Confidence, all about how to budget, and Investing Confidence for those people who are looking to start their journey into the world of investing. In addition to that, there is a new workshop that goes in there every month. At the time of recording this, we have 2 workshops. We have one called Side Hustle Success, and we have another called Investing for Retirement. There'll be a new one in there next month and the month after that. Furthermore, you'll be able to access the Money Nook exclusive community, where we are there to support you, encourage you, and see you achieve your financial goals. A big thank you for watching this video. It's been great to have you here. I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye.